This time, we're ready to begin our White Cotswold show. So we need yearling rams, Cotswold white yearling rams to the ring now, please. Welcome to our Cotswold show today. Our judge is Tim Gadsby of Stoneboro, Pennsylvania. Tim, with his wife Casey and their daughter Oakley, own and operate Greenleaf Valley in western Pennsylvania. They raise horn Dorset and merino sheep. Tim has had the opportunity to judge multiple state fairs along with breed shows at the North American International Livestock Expo in Louisville, Kentucky. Let's welcome Tim Gadsby to your Cotswold show this afternoon. So, first trivia question about the Cotswolds. 5 years ago at the 2019 Big E in the Cotswold show, Jake Reister judged that show. Who had the best white fleeced animal in that show? Well, I hope they play a little better later on. But the answer to that question about the individual with the best fleeced animal was Georgiana Springs Tube of Massachusetts.
I think a great way to start here for the two bucks at the top here. I think they get there real quick in my mind. Glad to see the buck that wins here kind of calms down and moves out a little better here. He gets out and gets himself running a little bit, and he can get into some trouble there as far as getting around his manhood. But a really nice buck there in number one, a stout, big hip, big top kind of sheep, a sheep that you just love when you get in behind him. He's just expressive out through that pin set, a sheep that comes with you some natural thickness and muscling. On top of that, you get into that fleece, and he is extremely adequate, probably above adequate today for me, front to rear. I think just a really nice individual there to lead off. Boy, there's things about this buck in second that you could just almost talk yourself into, and that's that front third of his skeleton. He's extremely nice in the way he lays into that blade, into that forerib. A sheep that presents with maybe that female maker of the group here for sure. You get in behind him, he's just going to run out of some of that over power, especially when we work into that stifle and that inner part of his leg as far as a class winner. Really similar fleeces there. The sheep in third, I think, a buck, when you get back and study him, you like how long he's out through that hind saddle. We put him in a motion. He's, again, going to be a little more restricted at the ground on his rear, too. But, again, a nice fleece, kind of a sheep. I think just one that runs into two really yearling bucks. That top three, as far as their fleeces, nothing I would change too much about them. I like all three fleeces. I think we get into body structure and type and overall build to get the sword on them. And then we're going to round out the class of the buck that's just going to run out of overall fleece quality for me. A buck that's a little rounder everywhere, especially down in that shoulder. A buck that just needs a little more power, a little more overall oomph to get up anymore today. Nice class. Congratulations.
Placing on the Cotswold Yearling Ram class, first place goes to entry 1595, Orion Acres 2320, Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 260 pounds. Second place to 1593, Orion Acres 2307, also Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 239. And third place to 1597, Max and Christine Crossman, Whitehall, New York. That ram weighing 238. Fourth place to 1596, Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. The Cotswold breed originated in the Cotswold Hills of Gloucester County in England near the Bristol Channel. The name Cotswold was given to the breed because in the early days they were folded or housed at night in shelters known locally as cots or cotes, and they were pastured on the wild, treeless hills of the area that were called the wolds. It is suggested that sheep were in the Cotswold Hills at the time of Caesar's conquest of Britain. The Cotswold is a dual-purpose long wool breed. Cotswolds were introduced into the United States in 1831. Cotswolds are a long wool breed and have been used in crossbreeding programs primarily to increase staple length without losing fleece weight. Cotswold wool hangs in locks that have a lustrous, silky sheen.
I think you get into this first class of buck lambs here, and a real logical choice. I think for me, for sure when you stand back and study him, he's the large outline buck, but I think he's also the buck when he gets out and moves, holds together as good as we have in the class. None of them really wanting to cooperate super well today for us on the move, but I think he gives us the best look, especially on the top side of his skeleton. Adequate in his fleece, probably the top three. I probably put him third in by fleece today, how much I like him. But, you know, when you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, we're looking for the complete sheep. There's just not one variable we're searching. We're searching for the buck that fits a lot of different criteria. I think from a breed standpoint, you know, a sheep that we can definitely put on the top of the class and be super comfortable with, like him there. Boy, the sheep in second here, I think he's the problem buck for me for sure. Boy, if we could get this buck to have just a little more set, a little more comfortableness through that rear two for me, I'm probably winning with him. I do like his fleece. I just don't have enough overall comfort over in that rear two set for me today. A buck that is, again, really smooth in his shoulder, gets up into his neck really nice when we get him on the motion. Boy, if we could just take him from that last rib back and just change some pieces and parts to him, I think it's a real easy class, but second's logical for me. The buck in three, a moderate sheep, which I really like. Here's a ton of muscle in this sheep, a ton of thickness. I get onto his head, and there's some things I would just like to change to be able to just absolutely run this class with him. His body type and his overall look is kind of what I raise at home, but we still got to stay within some of that breed type and standard for me to be able to win a class with. The real heavy fleece, super dense, just a sheep that you're going to get to the point where the shear shows up and going to shear just a tremendous amount of fleece. It's this sheep in four. You know, when you talk about density and just overall handle and that luster in it, he's got it. We get him out here in the top four. I think four is logical for me. He's going to run out just a little bit over a length. I'd like to see just a nickel more on this buck when I put my hands down him. Like him to be just a nickel thicker for me. So, but four is pretty logical. And then five, again, a really pretty kind of a fleece on this sheep. Real uniform from front to rear. If you're geared toward this type, you like him for his fleece and his overall pattern. I just want a sheep that has a little more expression of rib, a little more openness over his top. But I appreciate the heads on both those bucks. Love the color. Congratulations.
Our next class will be Junior Ram Lambs. Placing on our class of Cotswold Senior Ram Lambs, first place goes to entry number 1603, Orion Acres 2409, Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 196. Second place to entry 1602, Orion Acres 2406, Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 180. Third, first in the junior show, to entry 1604, Wilds 2406, William Wilds, Wellington, Connecticut. That ram weighing 152. Fourth place to entry 1600, Christine Atkins, Cook Hill Farm, Griswold, Connecticut. Fifth place to 1599, also Christine Atkins, Cook Hill Farm, Griswold, Connecticut. 6, second in the junior show to 1601 Short Hill Farm, 2406 Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. And 7th, third in the junior show to entry 1598 Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. Currently, we're showing junior Ram Lambs. Your next class will be pair of Ram Lambs. Here's another trivia question about the Cotswold shows. In 2014, the regional Cotswold show was here. That's 10 years ago. Ed Julian of Ohio was our judge. What exhibitor, or who was the exhibitor, that had the champion and reserve champion Ram, champion and reserve champion ewe, also had the first place in the exhibitor's flock, breeder's flock, get of sire, was named the premier exhibitor and the premier breeder? That was a quick answer, and it was Robert Eade of Illinois. Had a good day that day.
We get into this springbuck class. I think probably the most logical decision to this point of the show, a buck that combines fleece, muscling, some thickness in that overall look when we get out here in the show ring. I think he's a really nice, handy winner for this class. Like him a bunch. Get him around. He's smooth through his gait, good out through his foot, covers his step really well. I think that's a good spot to start for sure. Really nice sheep there in first. The buck in second, again, kind of similar to the buck that came out of second in the last class. Boy, if you could read him from his last rib forward, so much I like about this sheep. Just got to get him more set, got him get him more comfortable in his hock, get him to stretch to the ground just a little more natural, especially when he gets out and gets into motion. A buck that wants to get a little more restricted, a little more hung up in his juncture than our class winner, but a nice one there, big growthy kind of a buck. You appreciate him for his type and kind. Again, we run in here three sheep that you get into. Everything you like about his fleece, you get back and study him. Just like to see a little more of him today. Like to get him behind this buck and like to have him a little wider out through his pins, especially on the top side of his hip, to be super honest with you on this buck. But I think from there, he paints a really good picture in that front third of his skeleton. Just need to fix them there for me. The buck that does come to me with as much power as our class winner when you get him behind him is here in 4. There's things about this buck, when you get the wool sheared off of him, you could kind of get intrigued by him for sure, I bet. Today with this fleece quality, I can't get him much higher than 4. Super inconsistent front to rear, just running it in some cab, some cross, but just a buck I think 4 has got to be honest for him there. And then we're going to round out the class with a sheep. Gets a little more refined. Talking about male sheep, want them to look like a male sheep, want them to have some powerful about their nostrils, be powerful about their head, be male sheep when they're coming at you and you know what they are. He gets a little more refined, a little more feminine for me. Nice class. Congratulations.
Next class is pair of Ram Lambs. Placing on the junior Ram Lamb class, first place to entry number 1609, Orion Acres 24-27, Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 176. Second place to entry number 1607, Orion Acres 24-23, also Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 183. Third place to 1605, Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. That ram weighing 136. Fourth, first in the junior show, to 1608, Orion Acres 2440, Kaya Farrington, Cummington, Massachusetts. And 5 to 1606, Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. Next class is for champion and reserve champion Ram. For the open show, we'll need the first and second place animals of the previous 3 classes in the ring at this time. Placing on the pair of Ram Lamb class, first place to Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Second, Cook Hill Farm, Christine Atkins, Griswold, Connecticut. Third place to Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. Fourth place to Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. Following the selection of our open show champion and reserve champion, we will show for junior show champion and reserve. At that time, we'll need William Wild's first place junior show from the senior Ram Lamb class, 1604, and Carter Short's second place senior Ram Lamb junior show, 1601. And then we'll also need K.F. Arrington's fourth place, first in the junior show, 16:08 out of the junior Ram Lamb class.
Really nice set of bucks here. Let's give a round of applause for the Cotswold male bucks out here. Congratulations. I think what an interesting group of bucks for sure. 6 bucks that, quite honestly, depending on what your preference is on, that's what's neat about these wool breeds is there's so many more variables and things that create some controversy, some things to talk about. So whatever you like is what you like. I think it's real easy. I think the spring buck down here, he's got to win today. He's got the most muscle, the most thickness, good enough in his fleece today, good in his type. I think he's a sheep to read to be really good. I like how soft he is in his flank. I guess I'll be completely honest, for the sort for me, for champion, between him and a yearling buck, it comes down to a sheep that's just going to balance his rest of his lifetime just a little better on the bottom side of his skeleton. He's going to be your champion. We're going to follow with that big, massive yearling buck for reserve. Congratulations.
Open Show champion ram goes to entry number 1609. First place in the junior Ram Lamb class, Orion Acres, 24-27. Orion Acres of Plimpton, Massachusetts. The reserve champion goes to 1595. First in the yearling ram class, Orion Acres, 23-20. Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Now ready to show for junior show champion and reserve. So we will need William Wild's first place junior show from the senior Ram Lamb class, and Carter Short's second place in that Ram Lamb class. Then in the junior Ram Lamb class, we'll need K.F. Arrington's 1608 Ram.
congratulate the juniors for bringing some bucks out here that really fit the bill and super competitive in that open show. Really like that earlier buck. The design and how he's built. Man, if we could just change a little bit of nickel on that head, I would have been really intrigued in the overall class with him. But I think he's super good for this exhibitor to go home and make some really complete ones that have some muscle, some thickness, nice uniform fleece on him. He'll be your champion in the junior show. We'll follow with the buck behind him for reserve. Again, we talked about him in class. Like him out through his hip, like how much overall width and design he has. So maybe just fleece that varies, just a nickel from front to rear, but two really nice, outstanding bucks. Congratulations.
For our junior show, Champion Ram went to entry 1604 out of the Senior Ram Lamb class, Wilds 2406, William Wilds, Wellington, Connecticut. The reserve junior show Champion Ram came from the Junior Ram Lamb class, entry number 1608, Orion Acres, 2440, Kaya Farrington, Cummington, Maine. Mass. So in 2009 here at the Big E, that was the National Cotswold show that was held here. That's 15 years ago. Henry Schultz judged that show. So we had the white Cotswolds and the natural colored Cotswolds showing the same day, separately, of course, but still at the same show. So tell me, who had the white Grand Champion Ram, the white or the natural colored Grand Champion Ram, and also the natural colored reserve grand champion ewe at that show, along with the best white fleece and the natural colored premier exhibitor, natural colored premier breeder. So the answer to that trivia question, the exhibitor at that national show in 2009 here at the Big E that had the white grand champion ram, the natural colored grand champion ram, the natural colored reserve grand champion ewe, had the best white fleece, and was also named the natural colored premier exhibitor, natural colored premier breeder, was South Fork Ranch from Arizona. So, that same year at that national show, tell me the name of the exhibitor who had the white reserve grand champion ewe, the natural colored grand champion ewe, and also had the natural colored exhibitor's flock, breeder's flock, Gaddop sire, and best fleece.
Well, it's a fun class. I think some differences. I mean, we get into these long wool sheep, the presentation, what you're scoping your fleece to be. Is it today at 12 o'clock? Is it November 12 o'clock? Was it maybe 4 weeks ago at 12 o'clock? There's so many variables that play into this fleece, and anybody that runs with these sheep, I don't, but, we get out and judge them, and you can see there's some differences for sure. You want to talk about one who's fresh. I think one that's just the best built sheep. She's the best in her back end of her skeleton of anything we have in the class. She's as wide base, as good moving. She just excels when you put her in motion. There's just so much she's shorter fleece. Maybe reads just a little bit. Maybe we'll want to come back to her in 2 weeks and she's just dialed in and it's a slam dunk thing. I think today her fleece is a little more immature for me today to get that super scope to read on it. I just think there's too much sheep here. She's a beautiful outline individual, great through her chest floor, great up through her front. There is really nothing on the sheep as far as hiding her. Everything there is true quality sheep. 12 o'clock for sure as far as condition. I really like that one. You put them in motion, and if you like how sheep move off the rear too, you're going to win with her, no doubt. Sheep in second here paints a great picture from the side. She is the fleece that you get in and you dive in and you love the lock, and there's so much gorgeous from front to rear on her. We get her into motion. Does she travel out through that rear too as well as our class winner? No, but that's being picky. Maybe you put your emphasis somewhere else and you can win with her real easy. Today, I just really like how they move, and I really like how that class winner moves. But taking nothing away from this second place individual, love so much about her characteristics of being a true Cotswold female. Nice shoe there. 3 and 4, extremely similar. They could probably be twin sisters, quite honestly, when you get back and study them. Their fleece quality, their build, everything about them. Young man sheep here in 3. I get him behind her. I just like her more. She's wider out through her hooks. She's a big hook kind of sheep. She's one that's going to be true and wide through the back part of her skeleton the rest of her life. I appreciate that about her. Big old swoop in her. Just a really kind of a conventional, complete Cotswold female, and I mean that with a great regard for the standard and what you can do with females like this. A lot of different directions. There's a nice one. Same can be said for 4. I think this paints the same picture as 3. I just think when we get in and study her, she's just not as wide out through her back end of her hip, especially in her hooks that we have in 3, but I think a nice one there for sure. And then the sheep in 5. Want to like the sheep. I just put this sheep in motion, and I just can't find a spot for her in the top 4. I think 5's logical for her. Congratulations.
Next class is pair of yearling ewes. Placing on our yearling ewe class, first place in the open, first in the junior show, to entry number 1621, Short Hill Farm, 2348, Cloud, Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. That ewe weighing 205. Second place to entry 1616, Orion Acres 2308, Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. That U weighing 208. Third place to entry 1617, Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. That U weighing 197. 4 to entry 1618, also Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. Fifth place to entry 1615, Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Sixth place, second in the junior show, to entry 1620, Meyer 2345, Kea Farrington, Cummington, Massachusetts. Seventh place, third in the junior show, 1614, Carter Short, Boston Spa, New York. And eighth, fourth in the junior show, to 1619, Kea Farrington, Cummington, Massachusetts. Placing on the class of pair yearling ewes, first to entry 1622, Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. Second place to Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Third to Carter Short, Boston Spa, New York. And 4 to Kea Farrington, Cummington, Massachusetts. Now showing senior ewe lambs. Currently showing Cotswold senior ewe lambs. Your next class will be junior ewe lambs.
get into this early ewe lamb class, and I think one here that's kind of right up my alley as far as how they're built. Big hip in this sheep, big top in this sheep. She's the best in her hock in the top 3 by a wide margin. She's as natural at the ground that we have in that top lineup. I'm not saying that she's perfect, but she's just more natural than anything we have. Big top in this sheep, extremely good as she blends into her neck. You get your hands on her, you just appreciate that extended up through that jaw. I think there's just so much good about this female. Is she ever going to be the biggest yearling? No. But is she always going to be just really complete and sound and good made? You better believe it. She's going to win this class. The sheep in second here, I think she kind of splits the hairs on both ends between 1 and 3. She's better built in her leg structure than 3. But she's not quite as complete out through her hip as class winner. I like the sheep in second for her growth and her overall extension, her length. Just need to get her more pleasing on the top side of her skeleton. Need her to blend better out through her hooks into her pin set. Need her just to be a little more comfortable getting to the ground in her hock. But a really nice fleece, nice ewe lamb here. The sheep in 3 paints a great picture from the side view. When she takes a picture, she's winning the class. Boy, when you get in behind her, just need to get her more flexible in her hock. She's wanting to be awful restricted for me today. When we're reading these young females, I really want them to be super sound because every day they get older, they're going to continue to put weight on, muscle on, and they got to carry more of a load. I think 3's logical for her. Like the build, I think the 4th place sheep is similar to our class winner, just maybe a mini version, right? She's good out through her hip. She's not quite as long as the females in front of her, not quite as tall as the females in front of her, but I think she's complete, she's sound. I think this is a nice built female, super immature for this class. I respect that a bunch about her. I think 4, you just can't get her much higher for me. And then we're going to come in 5, a sheep again. She's similar to the 2nd place female as far as, man, if we could just get her more comfortable, get her a little longer about her gait, get her set down a little better about her hock, I think she travels and holds herself together better. But that's a nice set of sheep. Congratulations.
Next class will be junior ewe lambs. So that trivia question I asked about who had the white grand champion ram, they also, oh, pardon me. That one, I did give you that one. The one I didn't give you was the individual with the white reserve grand champion ewe, the natural colored grand champion ewe, also the individual that had the natural colored exhibitor's flock, breeder's flock, get of sire, and best fleece. That was Bear Hill Farms of California back in 2009 at that national show. Placing on the class of senior ewe lambs for the Cotswold show. First place to entry 1627, Meyer 2456, K.F. Farrington, Cummington, Massachusetts. That ewe weighing 127. Second place, and that was also first in the junior show. Second place to entry number 1631, Orion Acres 2410. Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts, that ewe weighing 162. Third place to entry 1630, Orion Acres, 2402, Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts, that ewe weighing 170. Fourth place, second in the junior show, to entry 1632, Wilds, 2405, William Wilds, Willington, Connecticut. Fifth place, third in the junior show, to 1629, Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. Sixth place to 1626, Christine Atkins, Cook Hill Farm, Griswold, Connecticut. 7, fourth in the junior show, Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. So, 20 years ago, Tom Brown judged here. That's in 2004. Who had the champion ram, the reserve champion ewe, and also won the exhibitor's flock, breeder's flock, get of sire, best fleece, premier exhibitor, and premier breeder at that show. So we had correct answers quickly on that. It was Vicki Regal of Massachusetts, Linda's mom.
Spring ewe lamb class here. Three sort real quick. I think there's some fun things about all three, as far as where you put your preferences. For me, I think the combination sheep, the sheep that is, let's be honest, for this class, she's got a bunch to her, right? She's got some thickness, she's got some muscling. She's bringing us a lot today on show day, and we appreciate that about her. Long hind-saddled sheep, a sheep when you get out and put her in motion, just tremendous in that respect. And she's level out through her hip, and she's good enough in her fleece. I think she's a super great spot to land. I think her better days are ahead of her as a yearling ewe. I think she's one that, with that length, the hind saddle is going to be able to go ahead and mature and still carry herself extremely well. Come back next year at this time as well. She looks great today, taking nothing away from her today, but she just projects really, really good for me. The sheep in second, maybe hit her 12 o'clock, and she's just maybe a little truer today as far as where she's going to go down the road for me, projecting her. Want to get her out and just go ahead and travel off those back feet and put her foot in the ground and go ahead and push her body away from it a little stronger. She's a little more restricted. She paddles a little more for me. She's got the fleece in the class, though. That's where you just can't get away from her. You can beat her on maybe some movement, things like that, I think, in my mind. But you can't get out of the second hole with her fleece. Tremendous fleece. Like that a bunch about her. The fresh sheep, the intriguing sheep is in three here. Want to put one on feed for 4 months from now, 3 months from now. She's a sheep. Long body, true, really lustrous fleece. So much set to her rear, too. I think this sheep is going to be interesting for sure. Biggie gets moved back a month from now, and I come a month later from now. Boy, it's a tough decision for me for sure, but like her a bunch. Show days today, she's third. Sheep here in four. A sheep, again, that we're going to run out of some condition, just some overall muscle and some shape. Going to get pretty varied from front to rear on her fleece. Just going to clean up some of them things. And then a really true fleece down here in five. I appreciate that about her. Just need more width, more dimension. Need her to get her comfortable, get her leveled up on the top side of her skeleton. Nice class. Good job.
Next class is pair of ewe lambs. Pair ewe lambs be your next class. Placing on the junior ewe lamb class for the Cotswold Show, first place to entry number 1638, Orion Acres 2428, Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Second place, Annette ewe weighed 158. Second place to entry 1639, Orion Acres 2429, also Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts, that ewe weighing 168. Third place to entry 1635, Stephanie Perrone, Rochester, New Hampshire, that ewe weighed 133. Fourth place to 1633, Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. Fifth place, first in the junior show, to Short Hill Farm 2440, Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. And sixth place to entry 1634, Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. Second in the junior show to 1636, Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. Placing on the pair of ewe lambs for our white Cotswold Show, first place to Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Second place to Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. Third to Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. We are now showing for Open Show Champion and Reserve Champion U.
Let's try this. Let's give a round of applause for these champion U's out here today. Nice set of females. Takes a lot of work. If you're standing back here watching these shows, these individuals take quite a bit of work. You know, they start planning for this show probably the minute they leave the year before. So, you know, there's a lot of work and preparation that goes into it. I'm one that sometimes gets suckered into projection and things of that nature. But I tell you what, when you got two big salty yearling ewes out there that are really true and fresh and have a really bright future, look good today and they're going to continue to look good, just hard to get away from them. We're going to use that champion in reserve coming out yearling ewe. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Champion U is 1621 from the yearling U class, Short Hill Farm, 2348, Cloud, Carter Short, Ballston Spa, New York. The Reserve Champion U, 1616. Second in the yearling U class, Orion Acres, 2308, Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. At this time, we will show for our Junior Show Reserve Champion. Our ewe that was grand champion overall in the Open Show, 1621 from Short Hill Farm, was also our Junior Show champion ewe. So we need 1620 from K.F. Farrington out of that yearling ewe class. We need 1627 from K.F. Farrington out of the senior ewe lamb class. And we need 1637 from Carter Short out of the junior ewe lamb class. Again, that will be for our Junior Show Reserve Champion ewe. Following the selection of our Junior Show Reserve Champion ewe, we do need to have, our next class will be Exhibitor's Flock. Exhibitor's Flock will be your next class following the selection of our Junior Show Reserve Champion ewe. Our junior show reserve champion goes to the first place out of the senior ewe lamb class, entry 1627, Meyer 2456, Kay of Farrington, Cummington, Massachusetts. Again, now ready for exhibitor's flock. Placing on the exhibitor's flock class, first place goes to Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Second place to Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. And third place to Carter Short, Boston Spa, New York. We are now ready for Breeder's Flock. Breeder's Flock will be your next class. Placing on the Breeder's Flock class, first place to Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Second place to Christine and Max Crossman, Whitehall, New York. Now ready for Get of Sire. Following Get of Sire, we will have Best Fleece. Following Get of Sire, we will show for Best Fleece. Placing on the white Get of Sire class for the Cotswold Show, first place goes to Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Now ready to show for Best Fleece. Best Fleece. Best fleeced animal came out of the junior ewe lamb class. Orion Acres 2429. Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Our premier exhibitor and premier breeder award goes to Orion Acres, Plimpton, Massachusetts. Linda, if you'll come out and get those. That does conclude our Cotswold show today. We will be back in the ring tomorrow as we have a really full day on Saturday. Start out at 8:30 with the Northeast Regional Tuna Show, followed by Lead Line at 12 noon. Then the National Regional Polly Hopkins Border Leicester Show at 1:30. We also have Working Dogs in here at 6 tomorrow evening. And then at 7 o'clock, our Junior Showmanship. Again, our judge this afternoon has been Tim Gadsby of Pennsylvania.